Let's be honest. The moment many candidates see the term p-value in a paper B question, their confidence drops. Some memorize p less than 0.05 equals significant. But what does that actually mean? In this video, I will explain p-values in simple language, show you common exam traps, and give you memory tricks that will help you answer paper B questions confidently. Let's first understand why p-values matter. P-values appear everywhere. Research papers, RCTs, meta-analysis, exam questions, and yet they are one of the most misunderstood concepts in medical statistics. So let's fix that. What is a p-value? A p-value answers one question. If there is actually no real difference between groups, what is the probability of obtaining a result this extreme purely by chance? Sounds complicated, isn't it? Let's simplify it. Imagine you are testing a new antidepressant and you are comparing two groups, Group A, Group B. Group A is the group which are taking new antidepressant and Group B is on placebo. So you find that Group A improves more than Group B. Now the question becomes, is this a real difference or did it happen by chance? And that's where the p-value comes in. So in order to understand this, everything starts with the null hypothesis. The null hypothesis says there is no difference or there is no effect. The p-value helps us to decide whether the observed result is consistent with that assumption. Let's talk about the famous 0.05. Most studies use p less than 0.05, and this means if there is truly no difference, the probability of obtaining these results by chance is less than 5%. Therefore, the result is considered statistically significant. So what does this p less than 0.05 mean? It does not mean that the treatment works 95% of the time. It does not mean that the result is 95% true. And it does not mean that there is only a 5% chance that the null hypothesis is true. What it means is, it means the observed result would be unlikely if the null hypothesis were true. Let's see an example to understand this in a better way. Suppose a study reports p is equal to 0.03. So that means p is less than 0.05. So this means if there was truly no difference between the groups, there would be a 3% chance of seeing a difference this large due to chance alone, because 3% is less than 5%. And then the result becomes statistically significant. So what if p is equal to 0.20? Now imagine p is 0.20 and this means there is a 20% chance of obtaining the results this extreme due to chance. And that's too high. Therefore, the result is not statistically significant. 20% is too high compared to 5%. And that's why the results are not statistically significant. Now, statistical significance does not equal clinical significance, and this can be a common exam trap. So remember, a tiny improvement in the symptoms may be statistically significant, but they are clinically irrelevant. So Clinical significance is not equal to statistical significance. Statistical significance is not always equal to clinical significance. Let me give you a memory hack. Think of P as the probability of chance. So the smaller the p-value, the harder it becomes to explain the result by chance alone. So that raises the significance statistically. Let's look at a question. A study reports p is equal to 0.001. And what does this mean? This means the observed results would be very unlikely if the null hypothesis were true. So it does not prove that the treatment works. So let's summarize this. P less than 0.05 means the study results are statistically significant. If P more than 0.05, that means the results are not statistically significant. P-values assess compatibility with the null hypothesis. They do not measure the truth. They do not measure importance. They do not measure clinical benefit. Remember, the p-value helps answer one question. Could this result simply be due to chance? The lower the p-value, the less likely that explanation becomes. So master this concept and you will answer a huge number of paper B questions correctly. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.